Ryan's office revenge.
Picture this moment. It's 8:47 a.m. on March 22nd, 2025. Howard Pierce walks into conference room C on the 4th floor of Titan Defense Systems, and there's Madison Walsh, the new VP Operations who's been here all of 8 weeks, sitting at the head of the table in a navy blazer with Rachel Torres from HR right beside her. That manila folder is already open on the table. Howard knows immediately what's about to happen. But what Madison doesn't know is that Howard has been carrying a signed document in his home safe for 7 years. A document that's about to turn this entire conversation upside down. My name is Howard Pierce. I'm 47 years old, been at Titan Defense Systems for 15 years now. Let me back up and tell you the whole story, because the context makes this so much better. I got to the office at 6:35 a.m. on that Tuesday morning. I remember because it was the day after President's Day and the parking lot was nearly empty, except for security and a white Tesla Model S I'd never seen before. Strange, but I didn't think much of it. Badged in through the security checkpoint, took the elevator up to the 4th floor, walked past all the empty cubicles to my workstation. Corner spot by the server room, not fancy, but it's where I've been sitting since March 2010. Set down my coffee, opened my laptop, and there it was. One calendar invite marked priority. Scheduled for 8:45 a.m., subject line, role optimization review, mandatory attendance. I just stared at that for a second because you know what that means, right? Nobody sends you a meeting invite with that kind of language unless something's about to change. I clicked on it, attendees. Me, Madison Walsh, our new VP Operations who'd been here for 8 weeks, and Rachel Torres from HR. My stomach tightened a little. Not panic exactly, more like when you hear incoming artillery, and you know it's going to be close. Let me give you some context about who I was at this company. Howard Pierce, 47, Senior Defense Systems Engineer, started here in 2010 after 6 years in the Navy, cryptologic technician rate. Did 2 deployments to the Persian Gulf, worked signals intelligence, earned my security clearances the hard way. My official job description said I was responsible for network security maintenance, user authentication systems, and classified data protocols. Pretty standard stuff for a defense contractor. Starting salary was $72,000. By March 2025, I was making $11,800 base plus an 8% annual bonus if we hit Pentagon benchmarks. But here's the thing. My actual job and my job description hadn't matched in about 12 years. When you work somewhere for over a decade, especially in defense cybersecurity, you end up absorbing responsibilities that nobody else wants to touch or knows how to handle. It starts small. You patch one vulnerability outside your scope because it's blocking mission-critical systems. Then someone asks you to handle the next one. Then it becomes your domain, and before you know it, you're the only person in the building who understands how half the classified infrastructure actually works. I was that person. Let me give you some examples. The company's entire secure communications network, the system we used for all Pentagon correspondence and classified file transfers, was something I'd built from scratch in 2016 because our old setup was compromised in a security audit and took 48 hours to verify each transmission. The Pentagon wasn't happy about that timeline. I automated the whole thing with military-grade encryption protocols, the same stuff I'd worked with in the Navy. We went from weekly secure updates to real-time classified communications. Nobody asked me to do it. I just did it because I knew how. Saved the company probably 60 hours of security verification per week. That's over 3,000 hours annually. If you value security engineer time at $95 per hour, that's $285,000 in annual savings from one project. Then there was the intrusion detection system. We had this patchwork of tools, some commercial software for basic monitoring, legacy military systems for threat detection, and nothing talked to anything else. Pentagon auditors kept flagging us for gaps in coverage. So in 2018, I built a unified threat assessment platform that integrated everything into one dashboard. Real-time breach alerts, predictive vulnerability warnings, automated response protocols. Our mean time to detect security incidents dropped from 23 minutes to under 4 minutes. Pentagon auditors called it best in class for defense contractors our size. We passed every security review after that. I didn't get a promotion for that. I got a certificate of appreciation and a $500 bonus. Oh, and the vendor relationships. Somehow, I became the primary contact for every single one of our security vendors. Lockheed Martin Northrop Grumman, our data center provider, our classified network service, our backup systems. If something went wrong with Pentagon contracts, I was the one with direct lines to their security teams. I had their emergency numbers. They had mine. When systems went down at 2 a.m., they called me, not my supervisor. I negotiated our Lockheed contract renewal in 2023 and saved the company $420,000 over 4 years by restructuring our security architecture licensing. I knew their systems better than some of their own engineers because I'd been working with this stuff since my Navy days. But none of this was in my job description. Officially, I was still a senior defense systems engineer. The thing is, I never pushed for a title change. I probably should have, but I liked the work. I liked knowing how all the classified systems connected. I liked being the person leadership came to when something critical broke. It gave me purpose, and honestly, it reminded me of my Navy days when I was the go-to guy for signals intelligence problems that nobody else could solve. Plus, I got decent raises every year, 5% to 8%. And my boss, the former CTO, a guy named Charles Brennan, appreciated what I did. He'd tell me in reviews, "Howard, you're the backbone of our security posture." He understood the value because he'd come up through the technical ranks himself, started as an engineer in the 80s. Charles was old school. He knew that documentation and processes were important, but he also knew that some knowledge lives in people's heads, not in manuals. When the Pentagon would call with urgent security questions, Charles would put them directly through to me. When we had our annual security audits, I was the one briefing the investigators. Charles trusted me to represent the company because I knew the systems inside and out. Charles retired in December 2024. That's when Madison Walsh showed up. Madison was 29 years old, 18 years younger than me, and she came from McKinsey Consulting where she'd spent 3 years optimizing operations for various clients. Me BA from Wharton. Before that, she'd done 2 years at a tech startup that got acquired. She had the credentials, the polished presentation, all the right buzzwords. She talked a lot about operational efficiency and resource optimization and eliminating redundancies. In her first all-hands meeting, I remember this exactly, she said, "We're going to streamline operations. Everyone needs to focus on their core competencies so we can scale systematically." I didn't think much of it at the time. New executives always say stuff like that. They come in, they want to make their mark, they reorganize things. I'd seen it before over 15 years. But then she started asking questions, lots of questions. Who built the secure communications network? Who manages the Pentagon vendor relationships? Who designed the intrusion detection system? Who has access to the classified documentation? And every time the answer came back, Howard Pierce. I could see it in her face during meetings, this kind of confusion mixed with what looked like irritation. Like she couldn't understand why one person had access to so many critical systems. She'd pull up org charts on her laptop during meetings, tracing lines of responsibility, trying to map out who reported to whom and who owned what. The problem was a lot of what I did didn't fit neatly into those boxes. I didn't report to the security manager because I'd been doing security work since before we had a security manager. I didn't report to the network operations team because I'd built half their systems before they were hired. I reported directly to Charles. And Charles understood that some roles evolve organically based on capability and need. Madison didn't see it that way. She saw inefficiency. She saw unclear lines of authority. She saw what she probably thought was poor organizational design. About 6 weeks after she started, she began scheduling one-on-one meetings with people across the engineering division, getting to know the team, she called it. When my turn came, she spent most of the hour asking me to explain exactly what I did day to day. I walked her through the systems I maintained, the vendor relationships I managed, the security protocols I'd developed. She took notes on her laptop, nodding along, asking clarifying questions about timelines and dependencies. "How much of this is documented?" she asked. "Most of the systems have technical documentation," I said. "User manuals, configuration guides, that sort of thing. But if you weren't here tomorrow, could someone else step in and manage these relationships, handle the Pentagon communications, maintain the security systems?" It was a fair question, actually. "It would take time," I said. "There's institutional knowledge involved. Relationships with vendor contacts, understanding of how our specific implementations work, knowledge of the Pentagon's requirements and preferences. But yes, someone could learn it." She made more notes. "How long do you think that transition would take for someone with the right background and security clearance?" "Maybe 6 months to get up to speed on the critical systems. A year to really master everything." She nodded. "That's a significant dependency risk. Looking back, I should have seen where this was heading, but at the time I thought she was just doing due diligence, trying to understand the business she'd inherited. 2 weeks later, she announced that she was hiring a security manager, someone to centralize security operations and reduce single points of failure. The job posting went up on our company website. I saw it when Paul Hansen, one of our senior engineers, forwarded it to me with a message. Looks like they're building out your team. Except that's not what was happening. What was happening was they were building my replacement. The security manager they hired was Melanie Wright, 31 years old, good credentials from a cybersecurity consulting firm, solid technical background. Nothing wrong with her professionally. The problem wasn't Melanie. The problem was what Madison planned to do with her. So March 22nd, 8:45 a.m., conference room C. I walked in and Madison was already there, sitting at the head of the table in that navy blazer and gray slacks. Rachel from HR was next to her with a laptop and the manila folder. They both smiled when I came in, professional smiles that don't reach the eyes. "Howard, thanks for coming," Madison said. "Have a seat." I sat down across from them, set my coffee on the table. "What's this about?" Rachel opened the folder and slid a document across to me. "We're conducting a comprehensive role assessment across the security division," she said.
"Making sure everyone's responsibilities align with their position descriptions and clearance levels." I looked at the document. It was my job description from 2010.
The one that said network security maintenance, user authentication systems, classified data protocols. Nothing about the secure communications network I'd built. Nothing about vendor relationships. Nothing about the systems that had become my specialty over 15 years. Madison leaned forward. "Howard, you've been here a long time. You're clearly a valuable team member. But as we've been analyzing workflow distribution, we've noticed that you've assumed ownership of several systems that should really be managed by our security architecture team or escalated to engineering leadership." I just looked at her. The Secure Communications Network, Pentagon Vendor Coordination, Intrusion Detection Platform, those should be owned by our new security manager, Melanie Wright. She starts next month. Vendor relationships will report directly to me. You'll transition everything over the next 3 weeks. I felt this strange calm settle over me. Not anger, not panic, just clarity. Like when you're in a firefight and everything suddenly becomes very simple and focused. "So you want me to stop managing the systems I built? We want you to focus on what you were hired to do," Madison said. She smiled again. "Stick to your job description. You'll still have important work, network maintenance, user authentication, data protocols. That's critical infrastructure." Rachel nodded. "This isn't a demotion. Your title and salary remain unchanged. We're just realigning responsibilities for operational efficiency." I looked at both of them for a long moment. Then I said, "Okay." Madison blinked. "Okay, yeah," I said. "If you want me to stick to my job description, I'll stick to my job description." "Great," Rachel said. She looked relieved. "We'll coordinate the transition plan with Melanie once she's onboarded." I stood up, grabbed my coffee, and walked out. Here's what they didn't know, what nobody except Charles Brennan knew, because he was the one who'd arranged it. Back in 2018, when I'd built the Secure Communications Network and the intrusion detection system and basically redesigned half our classified infrastructure, Charles had gone to the board and said, "We need to protect the company's investment in Howard's work. If he leaves, we lose our Pentagon contracts." See, Charles had been in the business long enough to know that people leave, and when they do, sometimes they take critical knowledge with them. He'd seen it happen at other defense contractors. A key engineer would quit or retire, and suddenly the company couldn't maintain systems that were essential to their government contracts. Months of delays while they tried to reverse engineer their own systems or bring in expensive consultants. So the board approved something called a Critical Systems Ownership Agreement. It was separate from my employment contract. A side agreement signed by me, Charles, and the board chair at the time, Stephanie Quinn. The agreement stated that if I left the company voluntarily or was terminated, I retained ownership of all proprietary security systems and classified infrastructure developed beyond standard employment duties. Specifically, the Secure Communications Network, the Intrusion Detection Platform, the Automated Compliance Reporting System I'd built in 2019, and 3 other major systems I'd developed. The company had a perpetual license to use them, but I owned the intellectual property, and here's the critical part. If the company wanted to transfer ownership of those systems to another employee or modify their security architecture, they had to get my written consent. And if I didn't give consent, the company had to either pay me fair market value for the IP defined as no less than 4 times the estimated annual cost savings generated by the systems, or stop using them entirely. Charles had filed this with the corporate security records, classified under critical asset protection protocols. It wasn't in my personnel file. It wasn't in the standard contract database. When Charles retired, he'd given me a copy of the original agreement with a note that said, "Keep this secure. You earned it." I'd put it in my home safe next to my discharge papers and my security clearance documentation and hadn't thought about it in years. Until March 22nd, 2025, 8:45 a.m., when Madison Walsh told me to stick to my job description. I went back to my workstation, logged into my secure terminal, and did exactly what Madison asked. I stopped doing everything that wasn't in my job description. The secure communications network, not my problem. Melanie Wright would own it when she started in 3 weeks. Until then, well, it wasn't in my job description to maintain classified communications protocols. The intrusion detection system, same thing. Pentagon vendor relationships, those reported to Madison now. Lockheed issues, talk to Madison. Northrop Grumman configurations, Madison. Security clearance verifications, compliance reporting, threat assessment protocols, not in my job description. I updated my system access status to reflect only my official responsibilities, network maintenance, user authentication, and data protocol support. And I waited. It took 4 days. On Friday, March 26th, at 2:17 p.m., one of our senior engineers, Paul Hansen, messaged me on our secure chat system. "Howard, Secure Comms Network is showing authentication failures on the Pentagon link. Can you check it?" I looked at the message for a moment, then typed back, "That's not in my job description. You'll need to contact Madison or wait for Melanie to start." "What?" "Howard, we have a classified briefing with Defense Department at 4 p.m. If we can't establish secure connection, we'll miss the $45 million contract review." "I understand. You should escalate to Madison." He did. At 3:42 p.m., Madison called me. I let it ring twice before I answered. "Howard, what's happening with the Pentagon communications?" "I'm not sure," I said. "What's the issue?" "Paul says it's down and you won't help." "The secure network isn't part of my job description." "You said to stick to my job description." There was a pause. I could hear her breathing, probably trying to process what I was telling her. "Howard, I didn't mean." "We still need you to maintain critical systems until Melanie starts." "I am maintaining systems," I said. "I've processed 8 user authentication requests today, updated network security patches on 12 workstations, and verified data protocol compliance on 3 classified databases." That's what's in my job description. The Pentagon link is mission-critical infrastructure I built outside my standard duties. If you want me to maintain it, we should probably discuss updating my job description. Another pause. "Longer this time? Fine. Can you just fix it today?" "We'll sort out the details later. I'll take a look," I said. I didn't take a look. At 4 p.m., the Defense Department briefing was canceled due to communication security failure. At 5:23 p.m., I got an email from Diana Foster, VP Engineering. Subject line, Pentagon communications issue. I didn't open it until 7:15 p.m. I replied, "This falls outside my current role scope. Please coordinate with Madison Walsh." That was Friday. Over the weekend, I did some research on current market rates for security consultants and system architects. Just curiosity, you understand. On Monday, the intrusion detection system stopped sending threat alerts. Not because it broke, but because I'd configured it with a classified security certificate that renewed every 60 days, and the renewal was due March 29th. Normally, I just renew it. Takes about 10 minutes with the right clearance and vendor contacts. But managing security certificates wasn't in my job description. At 10:34 a.m., one of our classified servers started showing unauthorized access attempts. Not a successful breach, but probing activity that looks sophisticated. Potentially state-sponsored, the kind of thing our Pentagon contracts required us to report within 2 hours. This was exactly the kind of threat the intrusion detection system would catch and block automatically within 2 minutes. But the system wasn't monitoring because the certificate had expired. The breach attempt went undetected for 37 minutes. By the time someone noticed the server logs, we had to implement emergency lockdown protocols and notify Pentagon security. They sent investigators that afternoon. Our contract requires 99.8% security uptime and immediate threat reporting. We'd just blown through the quarterly error budget in under an hour, and we'd failed to report a potential security incident within the required timeframe. Madison sent me a message at 11:08 a.m. Why didn't the intrusion detection system alert us about the security breach? The system certificate expired. Renewals are handled through Security Architecture Management, which reports to you now. You built the system. You didn't think to mention the certificate was expiring. I maintain a calendar of all security renewals, but that's not part of my job description. I assumed you'd established your own monitoring protocols when you took over Security Architecture Management. She didn't respond for 3 hours. When she did, it was just, we need to talk. But by Tuesday, things were getting worse. Our Lockheed Martin contract renewal had stalled because the automated compliance reporting I'd set up wasn't running. See, Pentagon contracts require monthly compliance reports documenting our security posture, threat mitigation, and system integrity. I'd built a system that analyzed our security infrastructure every week and automatically generated these reports in the exact format the Pentagon required. Saved us about $28,000 monthly in external compliance consulting fees. But I'd turned it off on March 22nd because automated compliance reporting wasn't in my job description. Then Northrop Grumman sent a critical security advisory about a new threat vector targeting defense contractors. Standard procedure was for me to review it, assess our vulnerability, and implement necessary patches within 24 hours. Instead, I forwarded it to Madison with a note. This is a vendor relationship issue. Please coordinate with appropriate personnel. Madison didn't know what a threat vector was. She forwarded it to Diana Foster. Diana forwarded it to Paul Hansen. Paul looked at it, realized it required deep knowledge of our security architecture, and forwarded it back to Madison asking if I could handle it. I replied, "This falls outside my job description. Please coordinate with Madison Walsh." The advisory didn't get implemented. On Thursday morning, April 1st, we detected a sophisticated probe targeting exactly that vulnerability. Not a successful breach, but advanced reconnaissance that triggered automatic Pentagon notification protocols. Within 2 hours, we had Defense Security Service investigators on site demanding explanations for why we hadn't patched a known vulnerability. 6 hours of system downtime while investigators analyzed our network. 23 government clients unable to access classified data, $180,000 in contract penalties. And a formal security violation report that went directly to Pentagon procurement. At 3:15 p.m., I got a calendar invite. Emergency meeting, critical infrastructure continuity. Scheduled for 4 p.m. attendees, me, Madison, Diana Foster, Rachel Torres, and 2 people I didn't recognize. I showed up at 3:58 p.m. Madison was already there looking like she hadn't slept in 48 hours. Deanna was next to her, typing furiously on her laptop with the expression of someone calculating disaster costs. Rachel was there with the same manila folder from before, but her confident demeanor from last week was gone. The 2 unknowns turned out to be Stephanie Quinn, the former board chair now serving as board advisor, and a guy named Lance Rodriguez, outside legal counsel. This was no longer a departmental meeting. This was a legal crisis. Madison started talking before I'd even sat down. "Howard, we need to discuss what's been happening this week." "Okay," I said. "The Pentagon communications link failed. The intrusion detection system is offline. We've had a security investigation. Our contract compliance is compromised. We're facing penalties and possible contract suspension." Her voice was rising. "Every time we ask for your assistance, you say it's not your job." "That's correct," I said. "You told me to stick to my job description." "I'm sticking to my job description." Diana leaned forward. "Howard, you designed these systems. You understand how they work. We need you to restore them." "I understand," I said, "but on March 22nd, Madison told me to focus on my core responsibilities and transition ownership of those systems to other personnel." "I'm just following instructions." Lance, the lawyer, opened his briefcase. "Mr. Pierce, are you refusing to perform work that's essential to the company's government contracts?" "No," I said. "I'm performing all work outlined in my job description. If the company wants me to do additional work, we should probably update my job description and discuss appropriate compensation." Stephanie, the board advisor, was watching me carefully. She was in her mid-60s, silver hair, sharp eyes behind wire-rimmed glasses. She hadn't said anything yet, but I could see recognition dawning on her face. Madison exhaled slowly. "Okay, fine. What would it take for you to just maintain what you've been maintaining until we figure this out?" I reached into my briefcase and pulled out a folder. The one from my home safe. I opened it and slid the document across the table. "Before we talk about that," I said, "I think you should read this." Madison picked it up. "What is this?" Critical Systems Ownership Agreement, signed in 2018 by me, Charles Brennan, and Stephanie Quinn. It's filed with board minutes from Q3 2018. I'm surprised you didn't come across it during your role assessment. Stephanie's eyes widened. She remembered now. Madison scanned the document. I watched her face change from confusion to understanding to something approaching panic. She handed it to Lance. Lance read it carefully, frowned, and read it again. Is this enforceable? Madison asked. Lance looked at Stephanie. Did the board actually approve this? Stephanie nodded slowly. Yes. Charles brought it to us as critical asset protection. Howard had built several classified systems independently, and we were concerned about key personnel dependency. The agreement was designed to incentivize retention while protecting intellectual property. So he owns the systems. Madison's voice cracked slightly. He built them outside his standard duties, Stephanie said. The company retained perpetual license to use the systems, but ownership of the intellectual property remained with Howard. Lance set the document down. According to this, if the company wants to transfer ownership or materially modify the systems without Mr. Pierce's consent, he can either demand fair market value, defined as 4 times the annual cost savings, or revoke the license entirely. The room went dead silent. Madison stared at me. You're saying we can't use the systems you built unless you give permission, or unless you compensate me according to the agreement terms, I said. That's what it says. Diana had gone pale. Howard, the Secure Communications Network alone handles all our Pentagon correspondence. If we lose that, we're back to manual verification protocols. That's hundreds of hours monthly. I know, I said. I built it. How much? Madison asked. Her voice was barely above a whisper. How much do you want? I'd done the math carefully over the weekend. The Secure Communications Network saved approximately 3,000 hours annually in verification time, at an average security engineer rate of $95 per hour. That's $285,000 yearly. 4 times that $1,140,000. The intrusion detection system prevented an estimated $180,000 annually in security incident costs and penalties. 4 times that $720,000. The compliance reporting system eliminated $336,000 annually in external consulting fees. 4 times that $1,344,000. Total $3,204,000. But I wasn't trying to bankrupt the company. I just wanted fair compensation and respect for what I'd built. I'll transfer full ownership of the Secure Communications Network, intrusion detection platform, and compliance reporting system for $1.22 million, I said. Paid over 18 months. Plus, I want my role reclassified to Principal Security Architect, reporting directly to Diana, at a salary of $155,000 base with 12% annual bonus. And I want written authority over all security architecture decisions affecting systems I've built. Madison looked like she might be sick. Lance looked at Stephanie. Stephanie looked at me with something that might have been respect. That's fair market value, Stephanie said quietly. Possibly under market considering replacement costs and contract risks. We could build new systems, Madison said weakly. You could, I agreed. How long do you think that would take? 8 months? A year? What happens to the $45 million Pentagon renewal in the meantime? What happens to your other classified contracts? Diana closed her eyes. We have security guarantees with 18 government clients. If we can't maintain classified communications or threat monitoring, we're in breach of contract. We could lose $62 million in annual revenue. Lance tapped the agreement. Mr. Pierce isn't asking for anything outside the contract terms. The board signed it. It's legally binding. Stephanie stood up. I need to make some calls. We'll reconvene tomorrow at 9 a.m. Howard. Can you maintain critical systems for 24 hours while we resolve this? If I'm compensated for work outside my job description. Yes, $200 per hour, consulting rate, effective immediately. They met the next morning without me. Stephanie called an emergency board session and presented 2 options. Pay me according to the agreement terms or lose the systems and spend months rebuilding while hemorrhaging government contracts. The board voted unanimously to accept my terms. At 1:23 p.m., I got the official offer. $122 million paid at $66,677 monthly for 18 months. Principal Security Architect title, $155,000 base salary. Everything I'd requested. The first payment hit my account 3 weeks later. Madison transferred to a different division the following month. Melanie Wright became part of my team instead of my replacement. Today, 2 years later, I'm still here. The company was acquired last year, and my stock options were worth $78,000. The $1.2 million finished paying out last month. I put most of it toward retirement and bought a small place in the mountains. Looking back, I learned something important. Most companies don't understand what actually keeps them running. They see processes and org charts, but they miss the institutional knowledge that makes everything work. Madison wasn't malicious. She was inexperienced and didn't take time to understand what she was changing. She saw inefficiency where there was actually expertise. I didn't set out to cause her problems. I just did exactly what she asked, stuck to my job description. Sometimes that's all it takes to show people what really matters. The invisible work that keeps companies running isn't found in job descriptions. It's built by people who care enough to go beyond what's written on paper. And smart leaders protect that knowledge instead of trying to reorganize it away. When someone tells you to stick to your job description, sometimes the best response is to do exactly that, because nothing reveals the true value of expertise quite like its sudden absence.